Welcome to Versus Soccer. We're going to be taking a look at another retro sports title from Nintendo today. As I mentioned, I would be doing sometime after I did the Versus Tennis video. Indeed, this is the second part of this little mini-series, if you could even call it that. Well, I guess it's technically the third part, because I did mention before that I already did a video on NES Baseball quite a few years ago. So yeah, this is technically part 3, I guess. So this game was originally released by Nintendo in 1985 for the Famicom, later made its way to the NES a few months later, and it was released as a launch title for the NES as well. For some reason, Nintendo also decided to create an arcade port of NES Soccer, which is the version of the game that I'm playing in this video. It was also ported to some other Nintendo platforms as well, including the Wii and Wii U via the Virtual Console. It's also available to play on Nintendo Switch Online, so if you have a subscription to NSO, you can actually play this game right now. Although I will say that if you prefer to play this game over, like, the newly released Mario Strikers Battle League, I really do have to question your mental state. But regardless, this game is, well, a soccer game, or if you're British, football. What exactly is soccer? Well, it's a sport where you kick a ball around and you try to score on other people's goals. You got a whole bunch of people just running around a big grassy field, you know, running around in their fancy cleats, just trying to kick a ball into a giant-ass net. That's the correct term for the types of shoes that soccer players typically wear, right? Are they called cleats? Please correct me if I'm wrong about that. Yeah, so I just want to go on record and say that this is not one of the better sports titles that Nintendo released for the NES. It definitely pales in comparison to some of the other soccer games that Nintendo would eventually release, including Mario Strikers Battle League. But I mentioned in the Versus Tennis video that something that I've been meaning to do for a while now on the channel is to go back and look through the early history of Nintendo sports titles, and unfortunately, I'm gonna need to play this game at some point, and the whole point of this mini-series is to basically just document these games. That doesn't necessarily mean that the games are good, and I even said as much in the Versus Tennis video. This one in particular is definitely not a winner. I'm just gonna warn you guys ahead of time, okay? For a soccer game, it does feel rather sluggish to play, and overall, it just hasn't aged well. I guess it's also worth mentioning that this game was also playable on the original Animal Crossing for the GameCube. Nintendo decided for whatever reason to include this game as one of the unlockable NES titles that you could get in Animal Crossing, along with some of their other early sports titles like tennis and golf and Excitebike. Anyway, please lower your expectations for this particular game because, yeah, you're not going to see too much in this video. Just warning you guys right now. So, dip switches. Not a lot of them this time. There's a completely unused one right here. Not really sure what that does, and I don't really want to frick with it. So you got typical coinage stuff. You also have the difficulty settings as well. You got easy, normal, medium, and hard. It's actually the same settings that were in Versus Tennis. So one thing I do know about the NES version is that if you're playing the console ports of the game, there's 5 separate difficulties that you can select from for the computer opponents. But in the arcade version, the difficulty settings are relegated to the dip switches, and also they removed one of the difficulties as well, because there's only 4 difficulties now. You also have this thing right here called a points timer. So I believe the points timer was a mechanic that was added into the arcade version of soccer. Basically, whenever you're playing the game, there's a little points counter at the top left of the screen that gradually depletes, and you can get more points by scoring goals, but if your opponent manages to score on you, you'll actually lose points. And when the points timer reaches 0, then the game will actually end prematurely, and the machine will tell you to insert another credit if you want to continue playing. I'm guessing the reason why Nintendo did that was because they didn't want people hogging the machine constantly. That's probably why they did that. I'm not entirely sure if the arcade version has an ending necessarily. I do know that in this version of the game, you are playing against pretty much all of the teams within the game, but it seems like regardless of whether or not you beat your opponent or if your opponent beats you, you actually just continue on to the next team. If you manage to beat one team, then the next team that you're squaring up against will actually be set to a higher difficulty than the team that you just played against. But if you lose against a team, then I don't think the difficulty changes at all. That's the only thing I've really been able to figure out so far, so we're just gonna insert a coin here. The arcade version does have 2-player support. You can actually do player versus player matches in this game as well. This game does not have 4-player support though, unlike Versus Tennis. This is not a dual system game, you're just playing this on one monitor. So how's about we go look at the teams here very quickly. So, the teams that you have in this game are the United States, you have Great Britain, you have France, I think that's what that team is. FRG, if I'm not mistaken, I think is supposed to be Germany. You have to remember, though, that this game originally came out in 1985, and the Berlin Wall was still very much a thing back then, so I'm not entirely sure if this is supposed to be, like, West Germany or East Germany, or if it's just supposed to represent Germany in general, I don't really know. And then you have Brazil, Japan, and Spain. So does it really matter which team you select here? Not really, because all of the teams pretty much perform the exact same as each other, and the computer opponent just selects a random team to play with. But yeah, every single player in this game basically performs the exact same as each other regardless of their team, and there are no licensed players in this game either. That wasn't a thing yet back in this time. Okay, this is not FIFA we're talking about here, alright? This is Nintendo Soccer, arguably the most rudimentary sports game that Nintendo released up to this point. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna play as Spain, just because I really like their color palette here. I do like my cyan colors. Even their socks are cyan colored, dude. Yeah, why not? Let's just go with them for now and see what happens. Okay, actually, which team am I being pitted up against? I already just completely forgot. Okay, well, whatever, it's the kickoff time. It's kickoff time. Okay, so we're gonna kick the ball, and we're gonna kick it right into the goal. Oh, never mind, he actually dived in order to catch it. Okay, so the way that this game works is that you have 2 different buttons to kick the ball around. There's one button that just kicks the ball in the direction that you're facing. If you have the ball in your possession and you just move around with it, your character, or I guess your players, will kick the ball automatically. Yeah, we have a throw-in right here because we hit it over the lion. So, the little number 1 arrow over all of the characters right here, or over some of the characters, that indicates which character you're currently controlling, and you can actually change this whenever you want, pretty much. I think whatever character is closest to the ball, you will begin controlling. Okay, well, I did a really piss-poor job at trying to save that ball there. Yeah, but you'll notice that I actually did lose some points from the opponent's scoring on me. And like I mentioned before, if that goes all the way down to 0, then I have to insert another coin in order to continue playing. But if you are, like, playing this on an emulator, then you basically have infinite continues, because you can just insert more credits into the machine. Oh my god, dude, this is like a cluster truck and a half right here. Gotta get possession of this ball. There we go, very nice. Let's just move it over this way. Yeah, so you can also pass to other players, too. Yeah, don't pass to the other players on your team when there's another person in front of them. You know, that's not exactly a good strategy. Okay, please, there we go. I actually saved the ball. There we go, just clear out. Clear out, please, and thank you. Just gonna punt this ball away. Very nice indeed. Okay, gotta make a comeback here, alright? We're already, like, one point down. Boom! Nope. Okay, fine then. I think this arrow also indicates, like, this little arrow that's moving around the opposing team's goal, I think that indicates where exactly you're like, hitting the ball, if I'm not mistaken. But I was gonna say, yeah, you can move in 8 directions, you can also move diagonally. There's one button here that does allow you to pass the ball to other players. I think the button that allows you to just kick the ball normally, it will automatically lock on to, okay, I actually already ran out of points, actually. Yeah, the button that you would normally press to kick the ball, I think it does automatically target the opponent's goal when you are close enough to it, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, that actually hit the side. That's totally fine. It hit off the post. Don't worry, we're still in the clear right now. We're almost at halftime, actually. I just realized. Yeah, so I mean, this is basically the entire game other than that, though. Like, this is a very very simplistic soccer game. And I mean, it's not even... Compared to Versus Tennis, it's not even that well detailed. I mean, this game came out a little over a year after Nintendo released Versus Tennis on the Famicom, or just Tennis, because that's what it was known as on the console versions. I don't know, for this one in particular, it seems like Nintendo really didn't even try with, like, the graphics here, because there's no, you know, no visible people in the crowd, like, no visible stands or anything. I mean, it does still have that, interesting little isometric perspective that, I do believe Versus Tennis also had. But, I don't know, man, I feel like they could have tried a little bit harder with the visual detail here, because I do feel like Versus Tennis had more visual detail than this game. This game came out in 85 compared to Versus Tennis, which came out, like, at the start of 84. It's just really odd, man. Oh my god, dude, this guy is... I mean, I don't expect him to be that dumb, because I'm just playing on normal difficulty right now, and I set it to that on purpose, just because I don't feel like being a tryhard. Yeah, if you want to know, like, which difficulty you have the opponent set to, it does actually tell you at the top right of the screen. If you look at the opposing team, that's called, CPB. Yeah, computer player at difficulty B, which basically means, like, difficulty normal. Oh my god, dude, I am trying to get this ball back in my possession. Please, please, and thank you. These guys run so much faster than I do. Yeah, they really weren't messing around with the point system, by the way, because it really does feel like, okay, well, there we go. I don't even know what the goalie was doing. He was just in a completely different, dimension altogether, I think. There we go. Got some more points, at least. Tied game. I don't know if we can go into overtime. I mean, soccer doesn't have overtime, does it? Like, I'm pretty sure, like... professional soccer matches can literally end in draws, right? They don't have overtime, I don't believe. It's not like hockey. Because, I mean, I'm Canadian, so hockey's like the only sport that I'm actually familiar with at all. Oh, goodness. Okay, there we go. We actually saved it. I saved it with my foot, apparently. Okay, throw it home. Throw it home. Why can I not kick this ball? There we go. Oh my god, I just launched that into space. Very good. Okay, at least I cleared it out. Cleared it out a little bit. That's good. Oh, they're going all the way up to the line here. Yeah, well, as I was saying, they're really not messing around with, like, the point system in this game right here, or, like, the points timer. Because it depletes so quickly, like, it really incentivizes you to, I don't even know how I saved that, but it really incentivizes you to try and score goals at all times. Because if you're not scoring goals... and your opponent is just continuously scoring goals on you, then eventually the game is just gonna be like, you know what, you can just frick off for all I care. You're doing so poorly that I'm not even gonna let you finish the game unless you insert another quarter. But I guess that was also a good money-making strategy on Nintendo's part, if I had to guess. Oh my god, dude. Okay, well, we're in a draw. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do here? Oh, wait, are we actually... Oh no, we're doing penalty kicks. Oh. Is this like the soccer version of overtime? I actually have no idea. There we go. That's one. Okay, now they're gonna do it on me. Okay, I have to control my goalie. Yeah, so when the opposing team is firing shots on your goalie, you do start controlling your goalie automatically. So there are some systems in this game that are automated. You don't actually need to, start controlling your goalie in order to, like, well, maneuver them around. When the ball comes close enough, you'll start, moving the goalie around automatically. Okay, I need to stop hitting this straight. I think that's the problem. That's the problem that I'm faced with right now. Please and thank you. Oh my god, I actually did save it. Okay, okay. Doing good so far. Doing well. Okay. I'm gonna go hit it upwards. Yes, okay, that actually did work, surprisingly. Okay, how many points do I need in order to win this? Oh my god, my reaction times, though. Subpar reaction times. This feels like a Robotnik 35 video. Go down. Okay, no, he actually went down. He read through that. Okay, fine then. Fine then. Come on. Come on, I'm ready for you. Oh, there we go. Okay, why did that just end immediately? We're still tied! Okay, yeah, I guess we're still going. Okay, fine. Is this gonna be the one that wins it all? Let's find out. There we go. Wow, he just... a little early on the draw there, I feel. At least for him. Okay, wow, I'm just really not even paying attention at this point. No, we're gonna keep going. Keep going. I'll hit it down. He didn't even move that time. Ah, normal difficulty AI. How I just love you and all of your oddities. Okay, there we go. Is that good? Do we win? Is that it? Yes, okay, that apparently was it. Alright, we win. We're the winners. Very nice. Celebratory, just waving our arms around, apparently. There we go, and I also got more... Oh my god, I got a lot of, points that time. I guess I get 500 for winning the game. Yeah, but then after that, we just start another match, but now it says CPC, which means they're at difficulty C. I mean, I'm not entirely sure if I should even continue playing the game, honestly, because, I mean, this is literally it, guys. This is the entire game, right here. I do believe that if you keep continuously winning matches over and over, then you will get paired up with, like, a much stronger team, basically. In other words, they're just, you know, playing on a much higher difficulty, and that's about it. I at least like that the timer doesn't actually take 45 minutes to deplete, because it is actually a lot quicker, as you can see. This is almost like a Super Mario Brothers timer, so I'm at least appreciative of that. God, what is going on here? We're just piling onto each other. Oh god, wait, I am controlling the goalie. There we go, nice save. Good save. Honestly, I am kind of wondering if I should just end the video now, because it's like, I mean, that's the game, guys. Like, that's Nintendo Soccer. One of Nintendo's earliest attempts at making a soccer game, and it's, well, not particularly good, at least compared to some of the other soccer games that they put out much later on, especially compared to some of the soccer games that they put out earlier this year. Because, I mean, Nintendo technically released, like, 2 different soccer games this year. Because, I mean, there was Mario Strikers Battle League, obviously, but there was also Nintendo Switch Sports that they put out earlier this year, and that game does have a soccer mode. Oh, I ran out of points again. Yeah, but I mean, compared to those modes, man, this is quite primitive indeed. Again, I do feel like this is just the result of, you know, technology was just a lot more rudimentary back in these times, okay? It was obviously not as advanced as it is today. So I mean, you know, they at least tried with the technology that they had at the time, but unfortunately, the game just hasn't aged particularly well. There's so many better alternatives. I mean, I would even argue that the FIFA games are a much better alternative to this. I would even say that Rocket League is a much better alternative to this, because I mean, Rocket League is basically soccer, but with like powerful RC cars. Not only that, but Rocket League is also like the only other, like, soccer-related or soccer-adjacent game that I think I have ever played on my channel. When it comes to sports games that are based on soccer itself as like a foot sport, or what is the actual term for the kind of sport game that soccer is? It's not a contact sport, because that's what American football is. It's a sport that you play with your feet. I don't know, maybe it is like a foot sport. Maybe it is technically considered a foot sport. I have no idea. I don't even know why I'm contemplating all of this anyway. This is just not even particularly fun to play, honestly. Yeah, so I think what I will do, actually, is that this will be the last, this will be the last game that I play, the last, like, soccer game that I play in this game, like the last exhibition game, I guess you could say. Yeah, because I mean, that's basically it. Maybe I should actually try and pass the ball to someone here. Why? I wasn't able to move any of my characters. Why? Excuse me? Hello? The game just completely broke. I apparently got an offside call, which I did not know those were a thing in soccer. I did not know soccer had offside calls. What is this, hockey? There you go, kick that straight to me, please. Okay, they just stole it again. Hang on. What is this guy doing just running towards the goalie? Okay, could you get out of here? Yeah, this game doesn't have, like, penalties either. It's not possible for anyone to get flagged in this game, like any of the players to get flagged. Okay, yellow flags are not a thing, red flags are not a thing. Oscar-level acting whenever people get injured is not a thing either. It's just straight old soccer, dude. Just a good old game of footy, as the British call it. That's probably not what the British call it, I'm just dumb. I mean, I'm definitely not racist, because I mean, well, most people in Britain are white, aren't they? Alright, I think I'm just gonna hold on to this ball and just let the time run out. Actually, wait, no, we're still tied. Nobody even scored. Okay, I guess we're going to penalty kicks now. Oh god, gotta do this whole song and dance over again. Okay, well, he went the other way that time. Actually, speaking of Great Britain, I think this actually is the Great Britain team that we're playing against, because I think this is actually their color palette, if I remember correctly. Okay, go over that way. Why does he keep going down? Not really trying to fake him out at all. He's just thinking that it's gonna go the exact same direction every single time. It's like, oh, maybe he'll kick it downwards this time. Kick it upwards? He just didn't even move at all. Sea-level AI. I see. Oh my god, I actually dived for it. One thing that I do think is kind of interesting about this game, though, is that the music in this game was apparently produced by Koji Kondo, who is also the producer of the Super Mario Bros. Music. Apparently, he was responsible for the music in this game. That's what I discovered when I was, like, doing research on this game before playing it, or before choosing to record it, whatever. Okay, yeah, we have D-level opponent now. Okay, no. Okay, yeah, it seems like I'm just playing against another team here, so I guess this just doesn't end until I eventually, until I just run out of points, but I mean, I can just keep inserting more credits into the machine, so if I'm just playing this through an emulator, then I'll pretty much never run out of money. I have infinite money. And with that being said, I don't think I'm actually interested in honestly playing the game anymore. But yeah, you can see that, like, on the higher difficulties, the computer opponents actually do move, or the computer players do move a lot faster, though. It's the only thing I've noticed in terms of, like, you know, different difficulty settings in this game. It just seems like they move even faster, and they're, like, somewhat more intelligent with where they choose to kick the ball. Like, they do pass a lot, and wow, okay, that was a really good kick. Very good kick. That one just got sent soaring right into the stands. Very, very nice. Totally my intention. Absolutely flawless. Okay, well, I mean, I even dived for it as well, and I still didn't get it somehow. Alright, well, while they're doing their, celebratory arm swinging, I think I am actually going to end the video now. Yeah, because I'm honestly not interested in playing this game any further. I think I am actually just gonna straight up reset this and go back to the main menu. Just out of curiosity, what were the teams that I was up against? Okay, one of them was definitely Great Britain. Okay, I think the other one that I was playing against at difficulty D was actually France, and it seems like the other team might have been Brazil. I think it was Brazil, actually. Okay, well, that's completely unimportant, of course, but I was just curious because I already forgot what what all of their respective color palettes were. I mean, it's not like it really matters either way, but I just wanted to remind myself, okay? Yeah, so I mean, that's about it, guys. That's all I have to say about Soccer for the NES/Famicom/arcade. I mean, this was the arcade version, but I do believe that the arcade port is mostly similar to the NES version. Like, this is pretty much what the NES version looks like, too. There doesn't seem to be that many, like, graphical changes that were made. Yeah, so that was one of Nintendo's first attempts at creating a soccer game. I don't know if it was actually their first attempt. I don't know if they tried making other soccer games prior to this, but none come to mind. I'm pretty sure this was the first soccer game Nintendo ever made. And yeah, it hasn't aged particularly well, much like Nintendo's other sports titles from this era. They definitely got a lot better at making soccer games and just sports games in general over time, though. And if you're looking for a genuinely decent soccer game made by Nintendo that you can play on the Switch, well, I would recommend Mario Strikers Battle League. I mean, the original soccer that they made back in 1985 is also technically playable on the Switch if you have an NSO subscription, but I really don't see why you would want to play this over Mario Strikers. I mean, you can shove people into electrical grids in Mario Strikers. That's really cool. You can't do that in this game. Or you can't do that in FIFA either. I mean, you can't really do that in Rocket League even, because Rocket League doesn't even have human players. Yeah, go push some people into electrical grids and electrocute them to death instead, god. Mario Strikers is actually a really violent game from what I can remember. That game was, definitely something else. I mean, I'm only familiar with the original Mario Strikers, because I only ever played the original on the GameCube. I never played the second or third games. I never played Mario Strikers Charged on the Wii, and I still haven't played Battle League yet, but the point I'm trying to make here is that this game is not good, okay? It's kind of poo-poo, alright? It's mid, as people my age would say, and I would recommend that you just go and play Mario Strikers Battle League instead. But if you already have an NSO subscription, then, well, you basically get this game for free with it, along with a bunch of other NES titles, so that's good, I guess? Yeah, there's not going to be any links to where you can download this game, because again, it's a ROM file that I would be sharing, and that's, you know, legally murky area, and I don't want to get in any trouble. I mean, I do technically own this game legally, because I still have my old copy of Animal Crossing on the GameCube, But if you really want to go and play this version of Nintendo Soccer for whatever reason, your best bet is to play it on the Switch if you have an NSO subscription. But again, I really don't think it's worth getting an NSO subscription just so you can play freaking NES Soccer, okay? That's not worth whatever... I don't even remember how much NSO costs, but just go play Mario Strikers Battle League, alright? This video's over. Stop watching it and go do something more useful with your life. Anyway, thanks as always for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video I make. Later.